If you want to learn how to make free thumbnails online without Photoshop, watch this video where I go in depth on how to make quality thumbnails. Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ruben. If you were looking for a video on how to make free thumbnails on your phone, I'll leave a link in the description or on top in the iCard. But this one is specifically for a computer. Okay, so this is the final result that I got earlier when I was practicing, and it came out actually pretty good. Okay, so let's get right into the video. You want to start off by going to canva.com. Okay, so once you go to canva.com, it's going to ask you to sign up with Google, Facebook, or an email. Sign up really quick and it'll direct you right to this page. Okay, so once you're on this page, you're going to go to the top right where it says create a design. In the search, you're going to search for YouTube thumbnail. There it is on the very top. Okay, now that you've opened YouTube thumbnail template, go to the left toolbar, go to uploads, and then click on upload an image or video. Now look for the picture that you're going to be using for your thumbnail. For me, I'm going to be using this one here, and then just click open. Then wait a couple seconds and your video will be uploaded here. Okay, so once it's finished downloading, just grab the image and drop it into the white page. Now just resize it to fit the page. Okay, now that it's fit the page, you can come over here to the adjustments tab. I usually do a little bit of effects on my pictures just so that they stand out a little bit more. And what I do is I usually just mess with the first three, the brightness, contrast, and saturation. For brightness, we can do 10. For contrast, we can do 10. And saturation, we will do 20. But you can mess around with all of these and get them to your liking. For me, this is perfect, so we'll just go ahead and click adjust again and we'll get out of that page. Now what I do for my pictures is I put a blue overlay down the middle. So to do that, we're going to go over to elements, find the rectangle shape, click on that, and then come over to our workspace, resize it, and fit it to exactly the way you want it to be. Like I said, for me, I want it to be diagonal, so I need it to fit the whole screen, and then I'm just going to rotate it. Okay, now that it's at the angle that I want it to be rotated at, I'll just move it right to the middle. Okay, now that you have it exactly where you want, if you want to change the color, you go over here to the top left square, click on color, and you have default colors here, or you can be more specific with your colors by clicking on the new color square. For me, I know the code combination for the color that I use, so I'll just go ahead and type that in, and it'll get me the color that I use all the time. Okay, so just click on that color, and it'll change the color of your square. Now that that's good, just click on the top left square one more time, and it'll get you out of that page. And now obviously the square is covering my face, so I gotta come back and move this image to where my face is actually showing. Because I didn't adjust this earlier, I have to go back over here, double click, and click detach image from background. And now it'll let me redo my image and move it around to put it exactly where I want. Okay, so this is perfect. This is exactly how I want it, although I do want it to be flipped, so I'll go here to flip and then flip horizontal. That looks much better, so we'll keep it exactly how it is. Okay, so now we'll go over here to the left toolbar one more time, click on elements, and then go over here to shapes, click on the rectangle one more time, and then we're going to resize this so that we can put our text over it. So resize it, get it to a good length and a good width, and then we're going to go ahead and add our text into it. Once again, you can change the color of your rectangle by clicking on the top left square and then typing in the color that you want, or just choosing from here or from your default colors. For me, this is the color that I want to use. It's the one that I use for all my thumbnails, so I'll click on that one. It'll change the color. Okay, so now we'll go over here to the left, click on text, and then I'll just go ahead and add the first heading, but here you have a whole bunch of different fonts that you can choose from. We'll just go ahead and use the first one for now. So just drag it and drop it right over your square. Okay, and to change the color of your font, go over here to the top, click on the letter A with text color, and then just choose what color you want. For me, I'll go ahead and just choose white. Okay, and now we can go ahead and type in exactly what you want. For me, I'll just go ahead and type in the word make, because my thumbnail is going to say make free thumbnails. To resize it, you can go ahead and just drag it here, or you can just change the font over here on the top. For me, I'll go ahead and just do like a font 80 or 70. Let's see, 80 is good. And then I'll just drag it to put it exactly where I want it to be. And then I'll resize the rectangle behind it. Okay, and that looks good. But if you want to move both of them at the same time, click on the rectangle behind the text, and then click shift, and then click on the text, and you'll be able to move them both at the same time and rotate them and do anything you want. For me, I'll go ahead and just add a little bit of rotation to it, and that looks good. Okay, and if you're going to be adding more text, just do the shift click so that you can grab both of them. Come over here to the top right, click on duplicate, and it'll pop up a new one, and it'll be really easy for you to just edit this one. Once you have it exactly where you want, rotate it exactly where you're going to have it, go ahead and click anywhere else on the screen. And now to edit the text, just double click on it. Because this is going to be a long word thumbnails, I'm going to stretch this out so that it actually fits in the box. Then I'll delete this text, type in thumbnails. It wasn't big enough, so I'll just stretch the box out a little bit more. So now I'm going to have to do the same thing for the bottom box. It's not letting me click it, so I'll just move the thumbnail text a little bit higher so that then I can click the bottom box. There we go, and then I'll go ahead and resize the bottom rectangle now to make it fit the text. Click on the thumbnail text now, and then just lower it down a little bit by using my arrow keys. Alright, and now I'll go ahead and change the color of the rectangle because I want it to be a different color. I'll move the text one more time real quick, go over to the top left, choose from a color, click the color that you want, it'll change the rectangle. That's the color I wanted, but now I have to change the color of my text, and I'll make that black. So that's good right there, and now I'll just move the box down a little bit more, put it right in the middle, get it centered. Okay, and I'm going to add one more word, so I'll just duplicate this text box to make it easier on me. Click on the back rectangle, then click shift and click on the text at the same time, and it'll click both of them, duplicate it one more time. Drag the duplicate down, rotate it to exactly where you want it to be. I'll place mine somewhere around here, then I'll come back up here and move it one more time, and that looks good to me. Okay, so I'll go ahead and change the color of the back rectangle, and then I'll use the same color as this one, and now I'll just change the color of the text to black. And I wanted to move the back rectangle a little bit more, so I have to drag up the text so that I can actually click on the back box, and then I'll click shift, grab the text with it, and it'll move all together. That looks much better. So now I'll click the text by itself, and then I'll be able to drag the text to exactly the middle of the rectangle. Okay, and even this by itself, it looks really good as it is, but you can go a little bit further and do another rectangle, and then put the rectangle behind the box just so that it looks like a little bit of a drop shadow. To do that, get the new rectangle to fit the exact size of your text box. Change the color to black so that it's a lot easier to see. We're going to have to rotate it just a little bit so that it matches the same box. Then resize it just so that it's a little bit bigger than the box, but not too much bigger. So resize it a little bit on top, on the right, and on the left. Okay, so now once it's covering the box, go ahead and double click on it, and it'll pop up this tab, and then click on send backward. Double click it again, send backward one more time, and now you see that it's behind it. And now that it's behind it, you can mess around with it to make it fit exactly how you want behind it. Once you have it where you want it, go to the top right, click on the transparency tab, and type in 15 or type in whatever you want. 15 was good for me earlier, and then it'll have this little border around it, make it look like a little bit of a drop shadow. And obviously you can then mess around and do that same thing for these other two. Okay, and if you want to add a logo like I did for this one, on the bottom left, what you have to do is download a PNG file. You got to make sure it is a PNG file when you save it. So go into Google and just type in the logo that you want, and then put PNG after it, and it'll give you that PNG file when you download it. So then just go through that same process of uploading the image just like you did for your own picture, and it'll pop up on here. Do the same thing where you grab the image and then you drop it down in your template. Okay, and then just resize it, get it to where you want it to be. For me, this size looks good. I want to put it lower to the left though. Now if you want to get that crossed out just like I did in that one, you go over here to the shapes tab again, look for the circle. It's going to be down here on see all for shapes. Scroll down so you find it. Here it is. Just click it, it'll pop into your thumbnail. And same thing with this one, you can change the color on the top left. I'll change that to red. Resize that, get it just big enough to cover the Photoshop logo. Now we'll go over here to the elements tab one more time, and now we'll just find a simple line tool. You can do it a lot quicker by just typing in the word line. Then click on the line that you want. This one looks good to me. I'll change the color to red, and now I'll just resize that, get it small so that it actually fits in the circle. Move it over here to the circle, rotate it a little bit, and then just resize it to make it fit in the actual circle. Move it around and mess with it so that you get it exactly where you want. It'll be a lot easier if you move it with your arrow keys than if you move it with your mouse, but it's up to preference. Once you have it exactly where you want, I think that's good for me. Click anywhere outside the box so that you can actually see how it came out, and yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, and once you're done with the thumbnail, you can go over here to the top, change the name of the file. For me, I'll stick with free thumbnails. Go to the top right, click on download, stick with the PNG, and then just click on download. It'll start saying preparing your design. It'll take a little bit, and then it'll pop up in your downloads folder. Now when you go to upload your video, just import that thumbnail file, and you'll have your custom made thumbnail. Now if you actually want that video to get viewed, click on the top video link where I go in depth on how to get your videos watched. If not, watch one of my other videos by clicking on the bottom video link. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking on the circle, and I'll see you all in the next video.